Thank you.
So, hi everyone. I would say a lot of familiar faces around here. So for those who do know me, you're probably wondering what are we doing here? And yeah, there are two main things I would say. The first one is really important, and that's Mladen is my actually distant brother-in-law. Nobody knew that, but that's, don't worry, later. And the second one,
call you because of that.
and the second one is actually we kind of do some of this stuff that we are mentioning here. How many engineers we had? We had a lot, right? So I was wondering how many of you are actually already into AI or trying to do something in the AI? May I see a couple of hands? Okay, that. So yeah, I know how to steer my presentation. So let me give you my life story actually, how I got involved in the AI domain. So I was in ad technology business for a while, for 5 or 6 years, and that business is really good for the AI. So you do a lot of campaign optimization and so on. But at some point, I switched to academia and got into some research projects, and I really loved it there. At the same point, I already founded a company and mostly doing a freelancing business in the same domain, so ad technology and so on. And there was one, let's say, I got lucky as well. I got pretty good mentorship there, and I managed to win a national scholarship for my PhD study in machine learning. So what got me here and how did I start actually working on the proper AI project? So let me show you here on the next slide. So as in every business, you start as a cabin boy cleaning the deck, and that's why I put here a job that nobody wants, and that's, I don't know what is that in the AI. That's the annotation. Yeah. So the project I was involved on was called Demeter. And these are the partners, Dunanet and the University of Donja Gorica, where I'm doing my PhD thesis. And what's interesting about this project is it's 60 millions in budget, and we had the various use cases in farming and agriculture and so on. And the one that I was involved on was regarding the chicken farms, as you can see on this image. So actually there were two threads there. The first one was more about well-being of the chickens and tracking that through sound. So we were kind of having hours and hours recording of chickens tweeting, and we're trying to figure out, oh, they're hungry now, they're probably hungry, and when they're hungry, they're tweeting or crying like this, or maybe they are sick, and if they're sick, they're tweeting a bit different and so on. But thankfully, I wasn't part of that one. I was part of the second stream, which was about the computer vision, as you can see here. And actually, I wasn't kind of doing a lot of annotation, but you know, this company is from Novi Sad, and I had to spend 2 months with them through this PhD study and so on. So being from Montenegro, they kind of gave me a CEO job in annotation. That's kind of natural for us Montenegrins. So here's what I created. I basically created a user guide how to do annotation. And let me tell you what is all about this project. So we are tracking the well-being of the chickens, like how they grow and so on, how many of the chickens are there in the farm and so on. And what you can see here annotated when certain annotation is bad. So you can see here that we have a couple of these sharp edges, and I told them this is a no-go. And the reason why this is no-go, because we really need to annotate this perfectly, because we are doing a weight estimation of the chickens, and that's how we track if they have enough food and so on. So this would later reflect on the actual, if we do annotation wrong, this would reflect how we estimate size of a chicken. So it had to be perfect. And this is for the first time. So all my previous work regarding AI was reading books and doing everything in a Jupyter notebook and so on. So for the first time, I really got the hands-on experience, and let me prove that. So this is the chicken farm, and this is me. So even though this is it's true, this is maybe post-COVID era, but you see I'm wearing a face mask, and that's the COVID is not the main reason, let's say. I'm not sure if you've ever been to a chicken farm, but it's interesting. Anyway, so I really liked what I did there, and at that point I already had a company with a couple of people doing some job with me, and I told to these guys from Dunanet, listen, we would like to start doing AI. Do you have anything for us? We will do it for free. And they said, yeah, you can try something like this. And then this is our very next project, and we did it as interns, I would say. So Paxana is let's say, a platform for senior people. So the bracelet is designed to last very long. The initial plan was to last for 3 years. Then you had a gateway and you had an app where you can check your parents, like if they're moving enough, if they're switching rooms and so on. So it's a really nice project, and I'm really sorry that I don't have the initial prototype of the bracelet. It's basically a piece of electronics taped with around the wrist, so people used to wear it through the house and so on. So they told us, listen guys, we'll give you some data, it's already annotated. Now you need to have a perspective. These people were basically annotated by the seniors who were, well, let me show you actually. So on this side you have a minute of a day, an hour of a day, and this is basically just measuring Bluetooth signal strength on the gateway. So when we have this, when the Bluetooth signal strength is changing, it means that there has been some movement there, they're active. But on the right side, I haven't shown it here, is basically people, senior people trying to remember when they did a walk or a light exercise or something like that, or reading a book. So the data set was pretty messy, I would say, and our main challenge here was, okay, you heard about a lot of AI models and everything, but which approach shall we use and which model will perform the best? And after struggling for a while, we kind of reached out to our partners from Novi Sad and told them, listen guys, this is going to take forever. How do we do it? How do we identify the best model here? And they just told us, listen guys, just use the Azure AutoML, upload the file, get the results, and usually the Azure will give you best performing model. So if you get it around 70%, start building on top of that. And that's true. We did something like that. We ended up with using long short-term memory model here. It did perform well, but unfortunately never got into production. The reason for that was that Paxana asks for fall detection. So when actually senior people fall to the ground to detect accidents and so on. And this was not possible with only the Bluetooth signal strength. So they had to involve another type of the bracelet, having the accelerometer and everything. And when it comes to this area, there's a lot of open source models doing this human activity detection very well. So we ended up using some of, let's say, well-established solutions. So yeah, this was, let's say, our first, I would say, experience as a trying to build a model from the bottom, getting everything by ourselves. And we ended up asking for help, of course, but we did prove ourselves. So our next project came by itself. So what you're seeing here is it is basically entry of the Metallet shop. Metallet is producing kitchenware. It's a very popular company in the region. And this is a shop in Knez Mihajlova and Belgrade. And partners approached us and told us, listen guys, we are having a trivial problem. We just want to count how many people gets in and out of the store, how much time do they spend in the store, and how much do they spend time in front of a window shop. Like if the window shop is interesting enough, they will spend more time and so on. So they wanted to track those stuff. So it was pretty trivial problem, right? So you have a YOLO, you already have all the classes, you just put everything in and it should work, right? But that's not true for the real life project. So what you can see here, and believe me, in our company there are people who spend hours and hours looking this entrance here, trying to figure out what's wrong. They had their initial model had a pretty low accuracy. So what you can see here is that really distance between when you detect the person and when the person disappears, it's really short. So you don't have enough time to do proper detection. That's the first one. Then, not to mention that you have a mirror on. So if you look at this image, how many persons you see? It's actually 2 persons, right? So that's another issue that we had. And not to mention that these crystal glasses here, for some reason, are very interesting. So people were constantly spending time in front of this, and we couldn't figure out, are they basically getting in or out, or what's going on there? So essentially, we improved this model to 98% accuracy, and we were impressed with our work. So we got back to our partners and we told them, guys, we did it. We are confident that this is perfect model, and we gave them model and code and everything, how we did it. And they told us, okay, guys, but do you know anything about DeepStream or maybe Triton servers? And we were like, no, not yet. And what's that all about? Well, we're gonna have 300 of these stores all across the Serbia, so we want to involve them all. Now, how do you scale this model to perform all of that? So that was another stage in our growth in the AI, I would say, and it was pretty interesting by the end of it. So at this point, when reality kicks in, you kind of say, okay, this is a whole new concept here. We develop web products for a while. We know every aspect of it, but in the AI, things are a bit different. So we said, you know what? We're going to do all in on the AI. And what we tried initially is basically to offer our existing clients AI solutions. So we tried to sell them really low, just to cover our expenses and to embed AI features in the existing products. So we were not, at that point, we were not much in the NLP. We kind of started working with our research community. That's why we involved Bertic, right? So that's how we got into that domain. And we also started with the application, as you mentioned. So how can I do this with the, I don't know, LLM and tune it a bit and sell it to our customers? So the answer is just practicing a bit, couple of these solutions. We ended up using the ChromaDB, which is open source. We kind of used a lot of the OpenAI and ChatGPT. I'll touch down a bit on that, why we can't use it anymore. And eventually we started doing a full-blown AI solutions, and there's a lot of there still to learn, especially as the new tools are being developed every day. So we need to stay on top, and we are learning a lot every day. What I would like to mention at this point, and why have I put these 2 things here? So a lot of things changed when the ChatGPT came out, and this image, I believe this is Mid-Journey, maybe I'm wrong, but why it got changed situation for us, because business managers and other people started believing in the AI. It's like all powerful and so on. So if you put this into a perspective, this is only kind of advanced autocomplete, right? And it's doing all that magical stuff. So people started coming to us and asking us, hey guys, can we solve this with the AI? And one good example I would say is, because we have a DECRA division team here, they were the ones who approached us and told us, listen guys, we need semantic search. We need someone to chat with our candidates when our real life agents are sleeping and so on. So we kind of started getting more influx when it comes to the AI. We were not in need to deep scan potential, let's say, opportunities to build in AI. And I would say it's a good time in the AI to actually start dealing with it. What else I would like to mention is 2 different approaches, especially when it comes to big corporations and let's say tiny companies. So we had as well, we have a client like NEC from Japan, who is also worried about the privacy of the data, and they do not allow us to use even Copilot or things like that. On the other, good example is also Decra. So we had a meeting last Thursday, and we were discussing 4 times more what the LLM should not do, like must not reveal this information, then we spent on what the LLM actually should do. So the perspective is also a bit changing, and that's what Mladen addressed in the security slide. So I think that's also very important. Coming back to agility, right now, actually for almost a year now, we are working on a really innovative project called Oxiom with a local company called Finance Plus. So what we are trying to do with them is basically make fully autonomous accountant. And the good thing is the company already has the data, and we hired some of the, let's say, internal experts to help us with the accounting stuff. And what I was told, I wasn't there, but one of the accountants providing the let's say, expert knowledge asked one of the engineers working on our project, am I actually helping you guys to lose my job? Like, is this going to substitute me? And, well, the usual response is, of course not, you're going to do something else. This is just save you a lot of time and so on. But to be honest, that's not true. There are jobs that are going to completely disappear, and we all need to adapt. And even developers, we will see that in the next slide. So to stay on this topic, I would like to mention a story from our company. So every year we have interns coming, usually, I don't know, 4 or 5 people coming to our company and doing some assignments and so on. So we kind of prepare the academy for them, courses, and we know that it takes them 5 days to complete those tasks. So on Monday we give them tasks, and on Friday we do the review. But here's what happened with the last generation. So we gave them tasks on Monday, and they came back on Tuesday and they told us, listen guys, we solved this. So people were panicking who were leading the academy and came to me, listen, they kind of solved all the tasks, what are we going to do now? We need new tasks and so on. And when I asked what's happening, well, you know what, they use ChatGPT to solve all of the tasks and they do not understand code at all. Then I asked, is it working? Well, yes, it's working. It's a pet project and so on, so it's working. So that's something that really got me thinking, like, what's important to our clients. So for our clients, it's important that code works and that's very light to maintain in terms of cost. So you don't spend too much money on the maintaining. And I had questions before the presentations about Devin. So I also put a job that nobody wants. That will probably be a developer. But what got me thinking is, I know there are rumors that's fake and everything, but just imagine this, guys. This is something happening right now. Imagine Devin in 1 year or 2 years. I believe a lot of things will change in the future. And we need to be ready. Like, if we don't start doing this in any sense, I think we won't survive. So we really try to keep us updated with the latest stuff in the AI, because it seems that it will really overrun everything. And yeah, finally, this was when we did trials. I said this is a secret slide. But what I wanted to do is to thank our hosts, guys who are really changed our, let's say, domestic scene here when you appeared, and thank you for inviting us all and doing all of this for us. We really appreciate it. I have a slide here from 2015. It's actually a screenshot from Facebook, and it's from Tomislav Car. It is about the philosophy of how do they hire and find new developers. And after reading this, I thought, yeah, this is how a company should look like. And we really try to follow your philosophy. And when we grow up, we were probably going to be like you. So thank you one more time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stevan,
So,
for
yeah.
not ending on the doomsday note. It seemed like it's going to be, we need to survive at some point. What are the questions for Stevan?
Yeah, let's continue in the doomsday.
Yep.
I have one question for AGI. What are your thoughts about artificial general intelligence?
Yeah, so,
Are we getting there or just the slope?
well, I'm very pro singularity that will happen in the near future. Now, near future, when I say, I think about 10, 20 years and so on. And actually, I briefly discussed this topic with some of the blockchain developers lately. So we were kind of wondering, you do know probably about Baby AGI and so on, a couple of these frameworks. So we were kind of discussing hypothetical situation about this. Can you spawn a couple of agents and tell them, make me money? And they go and Google and they figure out, okay, there's Ethereum, I can create a wallet. Maybe I can create a campaign, maybe I can write a white paper, like they were all the same, let's be honest. Now, you can try to attract people and so on, and you can end up on your wallet with millions. So, is the AGI there? Well, I consider it pretty much about Matrix and Neo. You know, when Neo starts learning Kung Fu or riding a bike, I can't remember the scene, but he tells the operator, load me this stuff and I'll be expert in it. So that's what we are doing. And this is what Peter actually mentioned, this RAG is actually that you have some general knowledge, but if you want domain expertise, that's how you kind of add that domain knowledge on top. So by growing this expertise and by improving the LLMs itself, I think we are nearly there, and we will definitely reach that point. Those are my thoughts. I'm pro AI, I would say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Sorry, I'm taking you.
No, but I suggest maybe just one more question because we have broken the agenda totally.
Are the chickens now fat and happy?
Well, the ones are, I would say, 3 years or 4 years old, so not happy to bring the news.
Okay, so we can wrap it up. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.